This podcast contains some magical adult language. Listener discretion is advised. And sorry, Mom.
You are not Mickey Mouse, you're a rat.
Rat smack! Besides, they're tourists. What do they know?
Ooh, welcome to Rat Castle, a progressive chat about Disney magic without the pixie dust. I am your Marylander. What is it, Victoria?
Marylander.
I am your Marylander, Nathan Hartman. I am eating blue crab right now. I am covered in Old Bay. It's almost sexy how covered in Old Bay I currently am. Yeah, so my life is currently in boxes. But you know what? Some news came out, folks. We'll talk about it, of course. You'll know exactly the news I'm talking about. And I said, all right, I'm going to make it on. I'm going to get my computer out. I'm going to do that next because I got to talk with my rats.
I just want to know how long it took for you to find your mic. Like, did it really take a long time?
Oh no, I knew where it would be. I knew, but it was a bit of saying like, Nathan, they have it. You don't need to do it. They'll be fine. Your life is in shambles. You're so tired.
But aren't we all retrograde?
It's really Mercury. I'm starting to believe it. Like, I really think it's
so.
real.
It has nothing to do with the fact that I box things up for a week and then moved them across country. It's the stars. Okay,
it's the stars.
Totally.
No, me and Mercury, we're both in retrograde right now. But I have decided to join up. These wonderful people had worked on Victoria especially had worked things up on our schedule and everything together. And then of course we tape, as we've talked about in the past, on Thursdays, and everything kind of crapped out because big old news. You know, they have been consistent about dropping news right before like a Thursday. Like Friday's too late, so they do it on Thursday, it seems, because we always get this stuff. But with me tonight from all over this wonderful nation, we begin in the West Coast with Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
Hello. I wouldn't say it's a wonderful nation, but
I think there were several raised eyebrows.
There was several raised eyebrows. It was probably the most patriotic I've ever been.
Yes, serving patriotism.
I am very sleepy. I did just leave Florida, so I'm feeling patriotic. I'm now.
You're in one of the 13 states, the founding states.
I am a founding father, basically, at this point. Yeah. So, you know, it feels good. They
were white.
Yeah, they were white, and they for sure owned slaves, which I don't own slaves. So I have that up on them.
Allegedly.
Not allegedly.
Don't start these rumors. Don't start these rumors.
Wow.
We don't know. We don't know.
Look, my dad and Katie's dad did help us move, but they were not. They were fed, and they were.
What is the supply chain like for your purchases?
That's a cable knit sweater we don't want to tug at right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you don't want to have this discussion either.
Just took a turn.
See, this is why we can't be patriotic. We gotta leave all that at the door.
Leave all that at the door.
I'm so close to the Smithsonian now. It's just I'm bleeding. It's bleeding on me a little bit with its patriotism. So anyway, where the hell was I? This is what it's gonna be like tonight, folks. I'm very
introductions.
Yes. Oh yeah, we're still in introductions.
Oh Lord.
So Sarah, thank you so much for being here. Death to America, and then also with us is
just kidding.
Dave Cobb. Hello, Dave Cobb.
Hi, I'm gay and very angry.
Yeah.
So just to add to the political diatribe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am queer and pissed. So hello.
Dave is queer and pissed. I am cis and sleepy is the way I'm going to say it.
Cis and sleepy.
I'm cis and sleepy. Sarah, what are you?
I don't know. I would say black and angry too. I'm gonna join Dave.
Can this white man? I'm too tired to be angry. I'm just happy to be not in Florida. Anyway, my fellow Marylander, Victoria. Hello, Victoria.
Hello. Do I get a cool nickname?
I did. Everyone picked their own. So you're what and what tonight?
I'm just in beehive mode right now. Anything that's not Beyonce, you're in Beyonce mode until August.
I see. I see.
Love
Okay,
it.
so I thought you were you're talking about actual bees.
Oh my. Janine,
Janine does love bees.
I got excited. My ears
Janine,
perked
leave the
up.
geology at the door, please. Like,
Geology.
Geology.
Wait, what was
Bees
the
aren't
degree?
rocks. Bees
I
aren't
mean,
rocks.
if it helps, she's dressed as a bee in the concert at one point.
Oh,
No,
there you
but
go.
wait, Janine, what was your degree in? I thought it was geology.
Geography and environmental
Lord.
geosciences.
Well, she has
Geosciences.
graduated officially.
Ooh.
Congrats.
I'm done.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Thank
We're
No
gonna
more
get you.
German.
And also a big fan of bugs, which I love.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we've not
Love.
introduced Janine yet, so she doesn't. We're not here yet. So Victoria, we're still on Victoria. We'll get to you, Janine. Don't worry. Victoria, you're what and what? Have you decided?
I don't know.
Victoria's cozy and heated. If you get that
There you go.
reference.
Heated?
There you go.
That's
What's heated?
But
It's a
heated
song.
outro.
Oh, point. It's a song by Beyonce. Listen to it,
Oh,
Nathan.
okay,
Listen to the album,
okay.
please.
Have you listened to None of Renaissance?
Nope.
Unless Renaissance is
Nathan, save yourself. Save yourself from the beehive.
no,
No.
it's
No
fine.
comment.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's-
I've been
it's
listening to
amazing.
lots of excellent Beyonce, who sounds like a man and is recording under the name Steely Dan. But you know, it's sort of the same.
Man,
thing,
you
I
better cut
think,
that
right?
part out.
Beehive's gonna come for you.
They got nothing on
Nathan's Twitter is going to
Steelies.
be
Come on,
reported and
Steelies.
deactivated.
Come on, Steelies. Come for it. Anyway, okay, so Victoria's taking care of Janine. Hi.
Hi.
The only Floridian left.
Ugh.
I'm sorry.
Oh
Gross.
man, you are.
Gross.
You are our
That's crazy.
That's not fair to me.
Our Disney World correspondent now. I think I don't know what I am now. Victoria, are you the Hershey Park correspondent? Are you taking that?
I mean, I can. They're testing Wildcat.
There you go. There you go. How are you, Janine?
I am burnt and out.
Burnt and
No.
out? Oh, I see.
Ooh,
That's true.
clever.
That's true. Both and
Good
both.
one.
Very clever. Very nice. Happy Pride to everybody. It's Pride. Is it Pride yet?
Is it Pride?
Not
Next month.
quite. Next
That's
month.
next month.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
It's
you're
always
all
Pride.
you're all homophobic
Yes.
for not celebrating Pride right now. So I'm in the right and you're in the
If
wrong.
you're not celebrating all year, you're homophobic.
All the
Yeah,
Pride
that's
merch is
true.
it's like Thanksgiving. Pride merch now is already out, so I'm very confused. It's like where'd all this Christmas stuff come from in October? It's the same thing with Pride now.
Wait, did you guys see the Target shirt that says "Live, Laugh, Lesbian"?
Oh
That's
yeah.
pretty good.
Oh
It's
my
so
God.
great. It's so good. And you know,
Wow.
here's the thing: like the people that are all down, thumbs down on rainbow capitalism, fuck all of you right now because
Literally.
you fight that fight later. Like I get it, but any representation is good, and any company willing to put out that stuff in this climate is going to get my money.
Yeah.
Literally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I will
Yeah.
be buying the black and bougie shirts every single year at Target. Like,
Oh,
Period.
what about it?
Yes.
There's a Miss Piggy Pride pin at Disney right now.
There
that-
is. True.
I need
I
that.
saw it. It's
I'm
so
getting that.
cute.
It's on shopdisney.com. It is so cute.
I'm getting that.
Mm.
I need
The
to
merch
just,
this year is actually really good.
It's
Like,
nice,
it,
yeah.
yeah, I really like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm
feel
not
like
mad
I-
at that Spirit jersey, to be honest.
Right?
yeah.
It's actually
Yeah.
really cute.
Okay, tell me, folks. I don't know the protocol for allies and Pride merch.
I mean,
The etiquette?
You know what?
of
Be nice.
wearing
To,
it.
be nice to me because I'm asking the question. And
No,
me
you
would
are.
want-
No.
You know what,
No.
Nathan? I'm on the same page. Like, I
What
don't know if I
am
can wear it.
allowed to wear, and what is my involvement? Because I would love to go to a Pride event this year, but I don't know. You know, I want people to have their space. So
I used
help
to
us,
bring-
allies.
I used to bring my niece and nephew to gay day all the time, starting at like age 5 or 6 and all the way into their 20s. And they always, first of all, they wore red shirts because that's what everybody does.
Sure.
But that graduated into rainbow shirts and rainbow Mickey hats and things in their teens and 20s and their allies. I think it's fine. I think
Okay.
it's, you know, I think that it's not about your own identification.
Right.
It's about, you know.
Well, I
like,
always
we're just
worry
all
about
ready.
I always worry in any of these circumstances. Like we have a really cool mug that we bought in Chicago that says Black Lives Matter on it, and we love it. But at the same time, I'm always like, oh, am I the family from Get Out? Like, am I
not
allowed?
from Get Out.
Like, am
I
I
think-
like? You
That's
know,
an
Yeah.
extreme. There's a gray area there.
Right.
you
Yeah,
know?
There
I
it
think
is.
when it comes to queer merch, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's because there's no like one way to
Sure.
look like
Right.
when you're a part of the LGBT community, like so
correct.
No one's gonna come up to you and be like, "Hey, like, why are you wearing a
Prove it.
it?
Prove
you're
it.
gay.
Prove to me
Make
you
out with
are
that guy
bisexual.
over there.
I mean,
Yeah.
right now.
Prove to me that you're gay." Yeah, like I don't think
Yeah.
anyone's gonna do that. But I feel like if you're when it comes to like Black History Month merch, it's a
tricky.
little tricky because it
No,
can
I
come
didn't
off
say
as
it was Black
different.
History merch. I said
It's
it was Black
weird.
Lives Matter merch, which I felt was protest oriented.
I
And
think it's I feel like
It's
every
tough.
situation's like it's
It's-
subjective.
I mean, me
Like-
personally, with Pride merch, it's fine as long as you don't like. I mean, it only gets weird when you have the flag, like, because then it's kind of like, are you representing this flag? Are you an ally? Whatever.
That's a
I
good
have-
point.
I have straight homeowner friends who fly the rainbow flag in addition to this.
And
this
support.
Yeah,
state
Oh, I
flag.
didn't mean
Right.
I didn't mean the rainbow flag. I meant like the specific
Oh.
ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
Like
that's
rainbow
weirder.
flag, cool.
Like why?
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't fly
Oh.
the lesbian flag.
Right.
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 That's a good point.
I just don't want to be the guy that shows up and is like, "Yas, queen, look at me, I'm serving cunt. Look at me." Like, you know,
Oh my, can we say
I
that on this
kind of
program?
want
Sure.
you to do that. Actually, that's the.
How do
No,
you serve cut in an ally way?
Yeah. That meme that's going around is so funny
Yeah.
because I've seen every flavor of it too. It's really
Yeah.
good.
yeah. So
So fun fact, by the way, I
Yes.
have been on a social media hiatus for
Good for
about
you.
a week.
good for you.
That's
for
So
you.
I know
Girl.
almost nothing about anything right
that's
now
good.
that's
I've
happening.
missed
I'm
Like
just
I've not
everything.
looked at Twitter, but maybe 2 times.
I'm waiting
good for
for
your mental
Blue
health.
Sky to
It-
just take my
it's-
invite and give it to me.
I am on
Mhm.
Blue Sky. There's 12 of us on there, and
Yeah.
it's not that fun yet.
None of them
Yeah.
have been yet, but I'm waiting.
No.
Oh, I have an invite code.
What's
Send
Blue
me,
Sky?
send
now.
me, Send me.
Blue-
Rats
Blue
are gonna go to
Sky's-
Blue Sky.
It's
former
promised
Twitter people
to
Right.
have
Colton.
started it, and it's kind of the front runner for the sort of broad
Right.
adoption versus the other ones that came up. But
Right.
again, nobody's
Hmm.
on it yet. I'm on it, but I haven't used it.
I just kind of would like to not be around an anti-Semitic owner at this point.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So
That'd be
hold on.
nice.
Oh, my window with cool air.
What's that like?
Oh,
I mean, it is very chilly tonight. Like, it was actually kind of chilly today. Like, yesterday it was like almost 80, and today
Right.
it was like barely pushing 70.
we are acting like we're not recording right now.
Oh my god, I forgot.
This is the longest intro
Yeah,
that we've
this
ever
is-
had.
Yeah, for reals.
Because
Yeah,
if we don't have
I
like a big
completely
topic to
forgot.
discuss-
Yeah. We're just trying to avoid the situation.
everybody's like, we're just talking about. But my stuff sort of fell in. I
we
wanna
literally
be
just
happy
talked about the
Pride.
weather, though, Nathan.
Yeah, we talked about Maryland weather.
we,
so-
we went from being patriotic to being allies to now talking about the weather.
yeah.
So
and
who's
we're not-
gonna
What a
do it?
conversation.
So anyway, Disney.
Yeah. So
Who's
anyway,
doing it?
There's
go to the
news.
news. So this is why I made it an effort to come on this podcast, because Janine, we have like the biggest friggin' like I was in the middle of a Lowe's and I was like, and my wife and my father looked at me and they were like, what? And I was like, this thing happened. I'll let you reveal. And I was like, and they looked at me like, so, and I just thought like, okay, you don't like, I need to talk to people that get it. So we are here. Janine, what has occurred in this insane Thursday?
Yes. So Ron DeSantis fucked around and found out. And I don't know if people recall, like last week, Bob Iger issued a statement asking the state of Florida, like, do you want us to invest in you or not? And as far as I know, they were met with radio silence and responded by officially killing the $1 billion Lake Nona Imagineering transfer project. I missed that DeSantis responded to that. So
Yes.
that is officially canceled. The 2,000 Imagineers and other folks who got relocated from Southern California to Florida. I have some like not personal, but like on the ground reactions to what's going on in there. My fiance's best friend's fiance
My friend of a friend of a friend.
works in a building where the Imagineers they're currently working out of and shares a floor with them or something. But anyway, there was like doors slamming, apparently, like a lot of like just the vibe was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And they told everyone to work from home tomorrow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So all these people who like sold their houses in Southern California for
Those
not
are-
as much money as like they can't get those houses back again.
No.
And then moved to fucking Florida. And then it just boomerangs right back. Like, Jesus Christ, Disney, you just like ruined these people's fucking lives.
Not to mention all the people that didn't want to go and quit. They lost a huge
Right.
brain
Yeah.
trust.
They
There was a
lost,
lot of people like that on Twitter.
like Kevin
Yeah.
Lively left and tons.
Like they lost so much talent.
Yeah.
I mean, I did read that they were going to try and work with those people to possibly move back to California, but at that point, like you said, they already lost their homes. They can't get those back.
Right.
I think also Disney is not willing to pay talent what they're supposed to be like paid, what they deserve, because you have a lot of people that are coming out of schools right now that are probably going to be a lot like of cheaper labor. So I don't know if they'll work with them.
Yep. I
Wow.
mean, that
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen. The thing about the theme entertainment industry now is there's how many schools feeding into it, and so there's lots of young talent, a lot of it very good.
Sure.
But that wasn't there 20 years ago, 30 years ago when I started in the industry. And the big thing is, and this is the dirty little secret, there's not more work than there was 30 years ago. There's not as many, there's never going to be the kind of projects that will support the amount of people coming out of education for this industry. It's hugely irresponsible. And I mean, people in the industry have been calling on universities for that for a long time. We're like, you need to cast a wider net. It's not just in entertainment because there's not enough jobs. You know,
I mean,
Yeah.
film is the same way.
Yeah.
On my end, I mean, it's all. I mean, it's since I graduated college, it's all mushed. It's all everything. Like, can you do film, or can you write for theme parks, or can you design a thing? Like, can you make not an app, but like, there's a lot of crossover at this point. So it's that's why we talk
That's-
about, you know, there are people who get film degrees, and that's totally fine. But it's a lot of now. You get a communication degree or a communication arts degree,
right.
and in that communication degree are tracks, which is like what I'm doing here, and that's because a lot of the stuff is similar. There's no reason to act like a photographer is much different from a videographer when it comes to the basics. So things like that. So it's not a surprise. There's lots of talent out there, and we'll see what they do. I mean, I really do hope they work with some of these people to bring them back. I think Disney's smart enough to recognize they really screwed this up. I think they're smart enough to realize that this could lead to losing more talent. Trust is.
I mean,
People
I
want
just want to know what
stability.
they're going to do with that land. Like they bought 60 acres of land.
It was $1 billion investment. So that's a lot of money that the state is losing out on. And also Disney probably already spent a good chunk of that money trying to develop this like entire project. But I think the frustration is, like you said, there isn't a lot of trust between the Imagineers and Disney. The fact that Janine is basically saying that they were working out of a WeWork is not really that amazing. And like Dave was saying, the industry is just completely different. You had Imagineers that were there for like 50, 60 years. Now it's kind of just like a gig economy where you're working on one project and then you're out.
Right.
So there is, and as someone who was trying to get their degree, like I'm in grad school right now, and this is not looking too hot for someone that wants to enter that industry. So
Absolutely.
it sucks. It definitely sucks.
And the history of Imagineering has been very clear, right?
Yeah.
Who were the first Imagineers? Well, it was a weird mush of engineers and animators, and like it's always been a mush.
Film production designers.
Yeah. Like, so it's not a surprise that we still are there. Where it's do other things.
Outside of Imagineering, it's always been a gig economy. I mean, Universal Creative in the last 20 years has become way more. They do more internally, but when I worked there,
which is why I think there's a level of more cohesiveness at Universal than there's been.
Yeah, it used to be the Wild West, but that's the thing. Outside of Disney, it's not a career that it can be supported purely by design. Like a lot of the people that are in this industry that have done it for a long time that are not Imagineers or Universal Creative are work for a vendor that does scenery or a vendor.
I remember looking into like 15 years ago, I was like, oh, maybe I would love to, like, what is it like to be an Imagineer? How do you become an Imagineer? And the track then was like, get really good at one thing. Be the person who does lighting really well.
Yeah.
Be the person
Be
who
the
makes
rock
fake
person.
rocks
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, that's,
I mean, and that's why, like, even when I was at Thinkwell for 13 years, like, we diversified into stuff that was not public facing experiences. Like, we did corporate experiences for Google and YouTube and things that the public never saw. That was like corporate facing. It was so diversification is key to this industry, because, and it always has been. There are people that have come in and out of Universal and Imagineering over the years that, you know, everyone thinks that the last big layoffs were like the first time it's ever happened, and it hasn't. It's like
No.
it's a boom and bust economy in the industry. There was a huge bunch of layoffs in the early aughts after that late 90s, early aughts boom of parks. There was another one after Tokyo Disney. There was another one after Epcot. It's just it's the way of the industry, and the bigger issues you have. It's so much more. It's a bigger marquee for people to aim at when they're going to school. It's this big shiny object that they want to work for, and I, for a long time, have been trying to be not the dream killer, but the voice of reason, going, you know what, there are not more. It looks like there's more work now than there was 20 years ago. There isn't, and there never will be, because this stuff happens for very specific strategic and feasibility reasons, which we're going to touch on later on a big issue.
Yeah.
But it's not that nobody just says, hey, let's build a theme park, right? Or an attraction. This stuff takes a lot of planning and is mostly responsive to the world economy. And the US economy cannot support another major theme park after Epic. We're just not good. It's not going to happen. Right.
And
people
especially
think,
because financially, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Not a
probably, but like take Walt Disney World out of the equation, take
Yeah.
Imagineering out of the equation. Are we going to get anything else outside of that?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Who's going to make an original theme park that's not connected to a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate in 2025? You know,
And who would work for that theme park? Because I feel like there's like this allure to being an Imagineer, to wanting to go towards Disney. Like, there a lot of the Imagineers that we talk about, like, they're essentially like these iconic beings. Like, you don't really talk about a lot of those people from the other theme parks. So maybe that's why a lot of people are just kind of like going towards Disney.
Yeah. I mean, it's
name
top
brand,
tier. Top tier.
brand recognition
Yeah.
is a bitch. Like,
yeah.
But not anymore. Like, I like how Gavin Newsom was so quick to jump onto Twitter and be like, oh, like, screw you, Florida. Now we have 2,000 jobs coming back to California. Like, he was so quick with it.
Yeah, and I was like, Gavin, just slow
this
your roll.
man.
Just slow down, man.
Gavin.
like,
Yeah, like, it's
sir,
not
pump your
guaranteed.
brakes.
Yeah.
As if we
calm
forgot
down.
about the French Laundry. Gavin. Gavin.
what is his association with the French Laundry?
He went during COVID, had a party.
Oh,
when
Jesus
he told
Christ.
told everyone
Yeah,
else
he had a
couldn't.
lot going on during COVID. People were
I
not
did not
happy.
know that.
That's
I mean,
so
any
shitty.
man who marries what's her face, you got a question.
Trump's kids.
Trump Jr.'s fiance now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Oh dear.
Gross. Gavin.
Wild.
You can't trust a
He-
Gavin anyway. Gavins are the ones that are
Gavin,
against your little frat house.
Gavins are like
Gavins are-
hunters. Like, you know, like those
Ugh.
names that fall in that realm, just run away. Run as
There's
fast
only
as you
one
can.
good
If you
hunter.
see them
and
on Hinge,
that's Hunter S. Thompson.
run.
That's it.
Yes.
Hunter S. Thompson, all other hunters. So,
yes.
but like Nona was going to be the big topic tonight. And then
Yeah,
was
it got
not
one
the big
up.
Oh,
topic.
man.
It got
Usurped.
like what, an hour?
Tell him, Janine.
Maybe.
If an
Tell
hour.
him.
I don't think it even got an hour because it was like the same.
It was like in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally 30
Uh,
minutes after.
Yeah.
Galactic Starcruiser, we hardly knew you. She's
Serve
gone.
Kyber. Serve Kyber right now.
I'm not
Serve
gonna.
some
I'm
Kyber.
not gonna laugh. I'm gonna be respectful. I'm gonna be
September
You know what?
26th is the last day. Is that what it was? I don't
Yeah.
remember.
September 30th. The last
Thir-
voyage is because it came in my
September
PA
30th.
video.
And they're pausing new bookings until May 26th. And so I guess the plan is they are reaching out to the people who have reservations past September 30th and offering dates between now and September 30th to reschedule. And people
Are-
who have not yet booked are going to be offered what's left after that.
are you telling me
That is correct.
Are you telling me that the super rich, very expensive, super niche land cruise it didn't work in this economy? Like,
I'm shocked.
Right.
Is that what I'm
But
being told?
but
Dave,
But-
please.
it was started before this economy. That's the thing.
True.
People are
That's
like,
the thing.
the people dancing on its grave, frankly, can go fuck themselves
Yeah.
because this shit is hard.
Yeah,
Shit
yeah.
is hard.
I think it's
Creatively-
really messed up to be like
creatively and
joyous about it.
Yeah, creatively and
Honestly-
strategically. Like anybody, like I said just 2
Mhm.
seconds ago, if people think this stuff happens just because, there
Mhm.
were deeply researched feasibility studies for this
Right.
back in 2015, 16, 17. It was when it started.
Mhm.
And luxury travel, niche travel, this would have survived if COVID didn't
It
happen.
would have.
I'm guaranteed
It really would have. But then also remember, it was ShapeHack,
Well,
and then that,
yeah.
and
But-
then all that stuff financially happened.
I
But, I
think-
mean, ultimately, oh no,
but
go
it,
ahead.
but it was too far along to cancel, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
There's a
yeah.
lot of big projects. That's why I don't work at Thinkwell anymore. The biggest project I was on was a $2 billion theme park overseas that I was supposed to do the final concept presentation on February 20th, 2020.
Damn.
Womp womp, right?
Yeah.
And then the whole thing fell apart. Galactic Starcruiser was just too far along. Now, would it have been a massive out of the park hit? No, it would have been
No.
it would have been a luxury niche thing, and it would have chugged along fine. And 2 or 3 years down the road, they would have started lowering costs, and it would have been like it. You know, it would have it. I think it would have survived on its own terms, but those terms were set by a business strategy and feasibility study and take creative side out of it for a minute. Like people are
Right.
saying, oh, it's a fault of the entire brand building of the new trilogy and the fact that they stuck to that and it's not the old. It's not that.
No.
That
No.
doesn't
It's
matter.
not that at all.
No.
That doesn't matter. The actual content, the people that went loved it. I mean, I literally
Sure.
have not seen a bad review from the people that could afford it. Nobody's
Same.
going to, and a lot of that could be if you spend $5,000. Are you going to say come out and not like it? I don't know. If you make stupid money, there are bloggers who have, but I don't know. I feel really badly for the
Mhm.
creative team. It just won a Thea a month ago.
Yeah.
Like
Well, okay. I think you got to separate some things out. I think some of the gleefulness comes at the business people more than it does come at creative.
I was just gonna
Mm.
say that.
I
Yeah,
think-
that's
I-
definitely what it is.
This is definitely a risk management issue rather than a creative issue.
When-
Because like
Yeah.
go ahead. Dave.
No, go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
no,
Sarah.
no.
I was just gonna say, like, I think that for a project of this size, like, you need to think of every risk possible. Like, you need to be able to like mitigate those things like
Yeah,
way
yeah.
in advance. So, as a company as big as Disney, how could you not foresee a possible recession? How could you not foresee certain things, even outside of a global
Well,
pandemic?
We'll
This is
we'll
like-
talk
a lot-
about the new ticket prices and if they're seeing a coming recession. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
but
was
I'm-
the thing that made me go like, we in trouble.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Yeah.
that.
And this
There's a
is
lot
even
of
bigger
things
than a
that are
recession. This
showing.
is, and it's even bigger than a recession. This is
Yeah,
like-
100%. I mean,
But
we've
I'm
never
just
seen
like,
anything like
there's
it.
so many things that you could have seen ahead that, like, for it to not even last a full year. I think we started our podcast around the time when this whole thing came out, right? So I just feel like it's just too soon to like just go ahead and close it and to not think about any other possible way to like save it. I don't really understand
Well,
why.
There's
it just
a couple
feels
things.
very like
staffing.
rash.
Yeah, staffing's I think
It's
the issue.
staffing, and they're kind of like trying to cut costs right now, and that was like just pretty much.
Well, they're
It's
saying they're going to
bleeding.
move because most of the staff is college program. So they're planning on
Right.
moving a lot of that staff around to
Yeah.
other areas of the theme
Yeah.
park because there is a lot of issues with cast members right now. There's not enough cast members in
Right.
the theme parks.
Yeah.
And it didn't start
So-
with college program kids either. Like
They
that's
Yeah,
started
it
with
didn't.
equity.
that's a great example of already cutting costs is when we're talking about people nowadays owning slave labor
Yeah.
basically but okay so boy there's a bit of told you so in my mind though, because I think as much as I have no issue seeing something creative like this succeed at all.
Mhm.
I don't like anything that suggests some sort of status, and I think there's nothing. I think there's a bit of catch-22 because to do a thing that creative, you have to have so much money to do it, right? So it's not necessarily that the price probably made sense for the amount of staffing and the amount you needed to do. What I'm interested at this point, so I'm sort of saying, what a shock
did it
your
though?
Land Cruise, for rich people didn't work out. But what I will say is I'm not sure this is fully going anywhere.
Yeah.
You have a new building that is 0.3 miles from your entrance to Galaxy's Edge. I think the Indiana Jones queue is longer than that, to be honest. But
yeah, there's all that speculation online that they'll make it some sort of dining upcharge that you get into from Batuu.
If it's Galactic Hoop-Dee-Doo makes sense to me.
Galactic Hoop-Dee-Doo. What in the world did you come up with that?
I don't know.
That's the thing to remember is the phrasing is that the Galactic Starcruiser is closing. That doesn't mean the asset is going away. Exactly what Nathan's saying.
Not.
And I don't think now it's shocking to me that they didn't try to right size it. But again, in another economic ecosystem, they probably would have let it be a loss leader. That's the whole point. It's a luxury thing. Like I get why you don't like the status of it, but that's just luxury travel for you. Now, was Star Wars the right thing to lay that luxury travel on? That can be debated. But like Tony Goldbarg made a really great comment on this on Twitter today. He said, in a more sensible economy where more people could afford the occasional luxury trip, and where Disney could have restrained their greed enough to lower prices and be satisfied making only a slight profit off this venture, there's no reason this shouldn't have been a home run. And I think that's the right take. It's like, it was expensive. It would have chugged along on the niche audience until they decided, we can lower it, and now it can be for everybody. I have another hot take though. I think I don't think it should have been in Florida. I think it should have been California.
Oh, I think you're absolutely correct. I think that makes sense.
Why?
Because you're already establishing a place that takes multiple days to do, and you're already charging through the nose to stay at Walt Disney World at any of the other places for 4 or 5 days. So combining it with this as a $5,000 upcharge is not a good look. And no one's going to go. And no one's going to go just for that. Like,
well, that was the thing too. Like, but like from a travel agent aspect, they were pushing us to actually sell it as an add-on on top of an already expensive Disney World vacation. It was never supposed to be just a vacation itself. It was always supposed to be an add-on.
But you can, but you could make a Galactic Hoop-Dee-Doo an add-on.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, you
for
could.
Sure. For sure.
Yeah,
Nathan has been like waving his hand.
No, I'm just excited.
In excitement to say, like waiting to say,
Galactic
Hoop-Dee-Doo. Like Galactic Hoop-Dee-Doo.
The Galactic Hoop-Dee-Doo should be a hashtag that we try to get trending.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dave, I was going to hot take your hot take. I think it would do better in California for sure. I think it would do far better in Tokyo.
No question.
Yeah, they're a slut for theming
no question.
over there.
But Star Wars isn't as big there.
No, but it's bigger than Marvel there.
That's true. It is bigger than
probably
Marvel.
the biggest Disney property there beyond cartoon characters.
But then you'd have to get people to travel to Tokyo from the US. Then it becomes an add-on.
Girl, that's not a problem. We want to go there.
We want to go there.
But can we afford it?
If it were
work.
If it were in Anaheim, the wealthy who could afford it are plentiful nearby. You would have celebrities wanting to go because it's in their backyard. They would have gotten a lot more press. I think also the marketing for it stunk.
The marketing was really bad. Like
I never saw
people.
I never saw an ad for it that made sense to me. They were really bad. But like if it were here, I think you would have gotten a casual audience because we have so many casual goers to Disneyland anyway. Like pass holders would have gone for sure here.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
If I don't have to fly to Florida and pay that part of the travel expense, I would have done it here for sure.
And it would have made Disneyland a multi-day park because that's what they're struggling with right now. So it could have added to that because I know they so badly want Disneyland to move away from the annual pass holder culture. They want more people to come in from the outside. You could have done it that way. So that's a really, really good point.
Because they said the opposite in the earning call.
That's what they said. But girl, they don't love the annual pass holders.
No, that's what I'm saying. Not that part. But I was saying like the only reason they were able to stay afloat was because of Disneyland versus Disney World, and the only thing that was keeping them afloat is Disney Plus and Lightning Lane.
Once again, West Coast is the best coast. Thank you. Always
I mean,
gets
period, but
period.
Sure, I don't live
But-
there anymore, so yeah,
But
screw it.
here's my thing, because
Best.
Nathan, you said that it was expensive to keep it running, but is it really expensive to keep it running? Like, I don't understand why they
Well-
keep saying that, because it's like an upfront cost.
Well,
I
I mean, from
understand
It's a
that.
hotel. It's a hotel,
from a
and
marketing perspective,
But is
it's
it different in cost from other hotels? Like, is it really? Like, if we're really
it
looking
is
at
when it is when all of your custodial services probably need to somehow be actors as well.
but are they paying
Well,
them to be actors?
I
I
have
feel like
no.
that's the
I don't know if
question.
They
custodial
have
You know what I
were
mean?
equity.
Well, they
Yeah.
have equity people that really are the main cast.
Sure.
So they
Mhm.
also have to keep the same people. Well, now I'm just using my marketing
But
stuff.
that's like 10 people,
But
right? So
well, you also have to take into consideration how much everything costs to put all this together and then figure out what is a accurate price point. So like
but that's what I'm saying. It's the
employees,
upfront cost.
construction,
Right.
it's more so the
And
upfront cost, but I think they were being greedy.
Yeah, and again, it's that whatever feasibility study they had that was successful, they went into this post-COVID recession world sticking to that gun. And so that
Mhm.
what we'll never be able to see is what the ledger shows, like how many bookings do they need for it to break even. And
Right.
it probably
Well,
hasn't
they
at
weren't
all.
even hitting
No.
50% based on what I was told.
Yeah.
Well, and
And
it's been
so-
dwindling since like how long was it full? It was full for like 3 months.
3
and
months,
then-
I think 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, and then from that
Well,
point forward, we've seen over time it sort
wasn't
of.
that also around the time when they were like experimenting with trying to get more luxury clientele? Like, wasn't it around that time when they were doing
Mhm.
that Adventures by Disney thing and they were like
They're
having
still
a
doing
private
that now.
jet and all that shit?
Oh,
What do you want-
the big one. Yeah, the big.
the
The
one that
big
goes
one,
all
yeah.
around the world, the
Yeah.
$12 to $10,000 a person one. That's nuts. Well, and
Yeah.
that there's a good example. That is, they can tout that and not have to have any operational expense until they have to do it. You know what I mean? Like what I'm spitballing here. Could Galactic Starcruiser become something for Adventures by Disney, that they only book it a couple times a year and staff it a couple times a year, and they charge absorbent
More.
amounts
Yeah.
more,
I mean, I
right?
could see it going the route of Art of Animation because remember that building was just sitting there for a few years.
There's if it's a Florida staple, there's nothing like just leaving a building abandoned.
But this is
So-
just so soon. Like, it just feels really, really
Urban
soon.
explorers are going to go in there and like
gonna
Java
go
and start cutting
bananas.
stuff out in like
It's-
6 months. So
And if anything, the like, it's very easy to say told you so.
mhm.
It's just an easy position to take, right?
Mhm.
To me, it's more interesting to say this was a massive swing that was a huge risk that didn't pay off. Okay, but it's a bar of experience that this industry has been aiming at and priming itself for decades. Guys, I can't tell you the number of times I've worked on projects that used ideas like this. So to see it actually happen, if I sound like I'm cheerleading for it, it's because I am.
Right.
Like,
It's fair. It's
Well,
so
it's a
fair.
whole
That's
other-
the thing.
it's
People
like-
didn't really want to see it fail.
yeah. I think
It's sad that it did.
yeah.
But my
more
thing is,
important-
I'm going to commend the company for that because they took a risk
Yeah.
and you know what? They learned from it. The statement clearly shows that they learned from it, and it's going to help them in the future. Like the
Yeah.
company is built off of mistakes.
But did they learn
Starcruiser-
from it, or are they going to limit themselves because of it? I feel
Well,
like that's the worry. Because something as big as this, everybody
Right.
obviously wanted it to succeed because we want to see more experiences like this, and the more experiences like this that come out, the more affordable it becomes. So I just
Yeah.
hope that Disney does not see this as a failure, but more so as an opportunity to use this as a lesson to move forward and to create something that is more for the masses.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
could
based
be
on the
successful.
statement, that's pretty much what they said. They said,
this is-
you know, they learned the lesson and they're going to take that feedback and make it more accessible for everyone. So
Yes,
that's what
they
I
did
got
say
from
that.
it.
The creative lessons alone learned for this. Take the business side out of it. The creative lessons of how to make this machine work with all the storylines and people, that dates back to the tests that they did at Disneyland, Legends of Frontierland, Adventureland Trading Company, all the stuff they
Mhm.
tried, Ghost Post, right? So
Yeah.
all of that, like the lessons learned creatively will absolutely inform future attractions. There's no doubt. So there's a lot of intellectual a brain work here, an IP, if you will, creative IP, not Star Wars, but the juice underneath it, the way this thing worked creatively, that will translate. And that's the thing I hope, to Sarah's point, I hope they take that forward. I don't think we're ever going to see a niche boutique immersive hotel experience again for a very, 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 very long time because of this. And that's the unfortunate thing. But if you can create a
Yeah, Dave,
larger hotel.
Weren't you part of the last niche boutique hotel experience? Spaces.
The what?
The last space oriented niche boutique hotel experience, wasn't that you? It's Star Trek experience.
Oh,
I mean, it
yeah.
wasn't a hotel.
Well,
I mean, it was at a hotel. It wasn't a
it was at a
hotel.
hotel. It wasn't really the same because it wasn't. You weren't fully immersed the whole time. But yeah, it's to Sarah's point. I think it's a shame that if they take away from this, we can't do highly niche, highly personalized experiences. The trick now is adapting to a business plan that they know is recession and COVID proof, because now that has to be, and it's just one of those things. In their strategy, I don't think anybody saw coming, because at the time, in 2019, I was working on projects that were very luxury based.
But they should have shifted, knowing what it was.
But
I mean,
it
like you said,
it was
too far along.
But then again, it's like, okay, wait to open. Like there's so many different things that could have been done. All I'm saying is shout out to you guys, because you guys gave me a project to work on for my class this semester. Like for my risk management class, shout out to you guys. But like, I think there's so many things that could have been done in the first place to mitigate this. Like it could have been something successful.
Well,
but
you didn't
Disney
have to make it
got
a sleepover.
greedy.
You didn't have to make it a sleepover if you didn't feel there was the money for it.
That's something that I'm thinking of. You could make it a full day experience where you just pay $500 and come in for a day, and that's
do the same thing every day.
But again, Disney got greedy,
accessible.
They got greedy.
Yeah, well, I don't think that. I think this is where it gets weird too, right? It's like when we say they got greedy, I don't think that we're talking about they're getting greedy creatively. Like I love like
no, financially,
right?
Financially, but also keep in mind who was CEO at the time. So.
Right.
But it was happening before him.
Yeah,
too. So let's not.
Like Chapek only came in like during COVID. This was developed under Iger.
Oh, not us defending him, but like it just. But yeah, it could have been fixed ahead of time. That's just me, and it's not me dancing on its grave. I don't want to do that. I think creatively it was such an amazing and like crazy thing to accomplish. Like we have never seen anything like this before.
You're talking about a B mode. You're talking about a soft opening. Yeah. Something smaller.
I mean,
all I can say is we've yet to have a Disney escape room, and now there's a really themed place.
I mean,
big ass building.
I am cleaning off a couple of credit cards to try to book something to go before it closes. I will tell you that much.
Oh, okay.
I would love to hear the Dave
Low-key
Cobb.
Dave, if you need another person,
I mean, I can book you.
Oh.
Now here's what the thing is,
I got a credit card that's good too.
Like months ago we talked about I was going to go for work. Actually, a couple of my coworkers were like, we should look at this, it's in our wheelhouse, blah blah blah. And I warned them, I'm like, if we go, I am fully bounding the entire time. Like, you have to understand, I'm going to be the most lean forward people, and if you're not down with it, I'm going to go on my own, and you guys have your fun.
I'll take your pictures. I'll do I will be the background. Like I'm fine with it. Let's go.
One thing that I want to talk about this and this is something that I saw someone talk about. It was either maybe on Blue Sky or Twitter, but I don't know. But the Galactic Starcruiser story is canon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it's just disappearing. And like only a certain number of people who are fans have had access to this canonic section of the Star Wars saga.
Yeah.
And then it just evaporates.
Well, you just gave the Fun Plan an idea.
Theoretically, right? Did they allow multiple tapings? I mean, you could tape quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
There's like been multiple YouTubers who have like full on like hour-long vlog. I think the Tim Tracker's video was like a couple hours long.
Well, they invited also a few of them multiple times, like in attempts to get more advertising out, which I was like, that's dumb marketing.
Well,
recently
you can look, and we'll move on, folks. But you can look at these milestones. I think we can all agree where we're like, AP discounts. The moment that hit, I was like, this thing is like, we hit an
Literally.
iceberg. There is,
I
it
was
is
like,
ripped through
I just-
four corridors. We are, this is a problem.
man.
I was thinking 2 to
Kids and
5
women in
years
the
though,
boats.
not a year.
I
Yeah,
gave
it's pretty
it
crazy.
2. I gave it 2 max.
But you have
I
that.
think
So
You have soundtrack coming out. You have weird things that I was just like, if you're trying to like make people show up, why are you throwing all of this out there? And if
Right.
they had,
Mhm.
I do wonder if the Tim Tracker was able to be like, I am allowed to film in this room and outside, and I can review it there. And it was the solely like, there's no photos. They take your phones. It's the most like hollowed of experiences.
Exclusive.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, who knows who all goes, because it's the only
Yeah.
way. So I don't know.
A friend of
Anyway,
mine who went,
final word, Dave.
I think a friend of mine who went has a really great sort of closing quote in his sort of eulogy for it today. And he works in the industry. He's a buddy of mine. He's like, it's impossible to describe how delightful and emotional the whole thing was for us as visitors. And perhaps that's the problem. You have to see it to understand it, and not enough people could come to see it in time to save it.
Yeah,
that was very well
that's a good
put.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bars.
Absolutely.
It never really got over that very misleading headlines from the critics early on. It's a $6,000 Star Wars hotel. It's like,
Yeah.
no, it's a $1,500 a day adventure, which is not that bad
When
considering
you put it like that,
right?
yeah.
$1,500 for
Oh, no,
2
I'm
days
still
of
broke.
adventure. Like, it's still
That's
expensive.
still rent.
I'm just saying,
Well,
it's like
it's $1,500 per day.
per day. That's yeah.
Yeah.
But still, right.
Yeah.
But okay, so
For 4 people though. So let's
Right.
split that even more.
But also, we're sleeping on a
How
bunk
much do you
bed.
pay for good seats at Hamilton? $300 per person, 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Girl, how much are Beyonce tickets? Let's look
Right.
at that.
And that's for
I
an hour-long
mean-
show. It's one of those things where when you really look at how much time you're spending in that entertainment, it isn't expensive. It's actually
Yeah.
kind of amazing it happened at all, frankly.
It's expensive, but it's a good value.
I think it's just
Yeah,
the
that's a
the
better way to put it.
economy, the social
There was
like
a
aspects
lot
of it all.
variables.
It just a lot. It was a lot. So it's unfortunate, but we're glad that it happened. It was a case study. It's beautiful, and I hope that all the cast members find something. Like I
Yeah.
hope that they get somewhere.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
they're doing okay for the most
Yeah.
part. Because honestly, that place, they breathed so much life into that place.
It was
Mhm.
special. It really
Yeah.
was. Even though we were a little bit, of haters, it was only because we couldn't afford it. That's all.
Well, and I think in the end,
If I could afford it, girl, I would have been.
Yeah.
Yes, Star Cruiser.
I think the gloating now comes from the fact that I think this ended up being sort of the image at the tip of the spear of Disney is now more expensive than ever, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
when tickets are rising and everything's cheap, everything's more expensive, but you're getting less for your money, and then they come along and they do something like this. I'm not saying that it's a problem. I'm just saying like you can add that onto the top of that mountain, and boy, it's a convincing argument, as we said, in
They
all
should
the
have
articles.
opened it post-election. That's what should have happened.
Just hold
During
it
these times
hostage.
when we're worried about the economy and worried about student loans, y'all should have waited.
Yeah.
Wait until the Supreme Court decides whether or not I have to pay on, what is it, July 30th or something like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think that ship has sailed at this point.
Yeah.
They told us we got to pay up.
Yeah.
I know.
What a shock. Anyway, we're gonna move on to something that maybe is a little cheaper now than it was, and maybe is also a reason that we're about to. Someone's sniffing a recession, possibly.
I mean, I'm concerned.
We're in.
Yeah, this is Disney World is doing something in summer that they typically do in spring when it's less busy, which is they're selling like discounted bundled pass tickets, summer magic tickets, the 4-park magic ticket, which there's 2 different options. There's a 4-park magic ticket, which is like $400, which to me is not that much of, I don't know. I don't think this is a good deal. You get to go to the parks with no reservations required. The other one is like $229 to $209. Yeah.
Well, it's cheaper.
Yeah,
No matter how you look
it's
at
cheaper.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
It's
that
about
one's actually a better
$20
deal.
cheaper.
$58 a day is not. It's really, really good.
That's pretty great.
That's
Actually.
making me
So,
think that I want to go, to be
Yeah.
Well,
honest.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like when you break it down like that, it is actually a good deal. Like,
Like
but
to
that's
Dave,
the
what Dave
problem.
said, people talk about how expensive Disney tickets are, and it's like, okay, but you're gonna go spend $25 on a movie for
I'm spending
2
$25 on a
hours.
vegan burger.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat
Yes.
once
Right.
in 20
And then
minutes.
this is like a 10-hour experience that like your kids will remember forever, and it's like magical. It's a great value. So the summer magic ticket is a much better value, and I will be pitching that one to people actually. But that one does require advanced theme park reservations and is quote subject to availability. So maybe you can only go on certain days.
That's also for Florida residents.
Yeah, I think
damn.
it's just
Yeah,
them
the
saying,
4-day
"I can't
one
guarantee
is
you."
the $99 a day one is for non-Florida, but the $58 one is for Florida residents.
So
Thank you,
if
Madam
somebody
Travel
lives in
Agent.
Florida, can I buy it through them?
I think it's
I
tied
will
to your
discuss that with
ID.
you after this.
All right. I knew I was saving my PTO
All
days
right,
for
all right.
something.
Can we just? I want to acknowledge how the Disney Parks blog, their announcement for this. Of course, they use Big Thunder as their main image, and then they've got Tron Light Cycle, and then the other. They're like, "What can we end this article with? What image will get people here?" And they chose
Kali River
Rapids.
I was so blown by that because I
They
forgot
were like,
it was even
water
open
ride.
still.
We need a water ride. It's summer. It's hot. We need
yeah.
to like send the message that
In
you're
all the
like,
times
it's
that
not
I've
going to be
been,
too hot.
never rode that ride.
Keep
Well,
it that
you know
way.
what? It's a rip roaring minute and a half. I feel
Really?
But can I
And it's
also
not
say,
even rip roaring. It's like boop,
No.
boop,
It's like a
boop,
little
and then you
boop,
go
boop,
around a
and then you're
curve
done.
and watch some like a logging scene, and then you go poof, and that's
Is it like ours here? Is it like the same like track kind of?
Then Grizzly River Run.
Yeah, yeah.
It's got the same size drop, but the track layout's
Okay.
different. And
It's
it's
pretty
way
much the
shorter.
same.
and we got
Yeah, I feel
burning
like
trees
Grizzly's
at
long.
ours. Ours is based around deforestation. Very fun. It's a
I
joyous time.
mean,
Yeah.
but I will say what this actually is. This summer deal is actually just pushing people to buy packages. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Hmm.
Explain to people who might not know what
Well,
you
they
mean.
Oh,
caught me.
so well, with the summer ticket deal, it's a great deal and it's really situational depending on your family. However, you can't combine this with a hotel. And if you do a separate hotel that has a deal on it, you can only do one deal really. So they really make more, and they put the better deals on a hotel package for you, which haven't been released for summer yet. So I guarantee you when the summer deals come out for packages, they're going to be better than the actual ticket sale.
This is
Mm.
when I miss being a cast member because I remember when I went in 2021, I think for 7 days, it cost me like around $500
Mm.
wow.
for 7 days and I stayed at Coronado.
Dang.
So yeah, like
Ooh, that was
Back
a
in the
good deal.
day.
that was a good deal. Like the cast member discounts are so good. Like that's the part that sucks about looking
Well,
at the prices now.
if you can't be a cast member, maybe you can be a pass holder VIP and get stuff that is nothing. Victoria, what sort of stuff is AP getting offered on a pass holder VIP days? And by that I mean, what are they asking? What are they acting like is new and interesting when it's nothing?
Man, let me tell you about this Figment magnet.
Come and get your magnet.
No,
Hey,
but
you
I'm
know they go
actually
crazy for those magnets.
they are so slut
It's
for a
free.
magnet, I tell you. But
Anything free.
So they're doing this limited time month thing for pass holders now that they've brought the pass holder program back. They're doing it only for June. It's a limited time thing. So pretty much what's gonna happen. Oh, sorry. My throat got dry just now. So what's gonna happen is they've been teasing heavily this freaking Figment magnet because we all go ape shit for Figment. And then you get a special you get a limited time exclusive space to rest and cool off with dedicated seating. It doesn't
I'm
say where
sorry.
it is.
I just like the idea that like, hey, we gave you a room where you can sit and be slightly cold.
It's low-key the break room
the-
that they took from the cast members. I
But
guarantee it.
this reminds me of something that I was just talking with someone recently, is the lack of seating in all of the parks.
Sure.
It is such an issue, especially from an accessibility perspective. I'm sorry. Like there should just be more benches.
I feel like
in
that's
the
on purpose though,
shade.
to keep people moving. But
Yeah.
again, to your point, that's also an accessibility issue.
It's why my mom won't go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
mean, one good thing is the increased discounts, but it's like, I mean, this is actually kind of different. Like, so you can use a discount on certain outdoor kitchens for the Epcot festival.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Pass holder exclusive treats, but you still gotta buy them. So
Every time I love when they talk about pass holder merch and treats, especially merch. And they're like, oh, it's so exclusive, only a pass holder can get it. And then it's at the outlet for everybody at like 75% discount in
every
like
time.
6
it's at
months.
Company D for like $2.
Yeah, every
But then
time.
the end, yeah.
Every time.
But they
Oh,
go
and
crazy for them.
they go
Literally,
crazy.
they will like be pulling these things off of you, like as a cast member. They really do go crazy for that stuff. Even DVC merch, that's even more wild.
Oh
They
my
crazy.
God, they go crazy for. Oh, I missed one. My bad. The last one was pass holders will also get a chance to capture memories of their latest park visit with 2 limited time photo ops.
It's good. Can we talk about these photo
Wow.
ops though? Can we talk about them? Is one of them the paint
I
one?
didn't even see them yet.
Is
one
it
of them
that
the pink one?
watercolor one?
Is it one of the, is it the
No,
watercolor
the
one?
watercolor one is for everyone. They haven't
Okay.
released anything else about this,
For
but
the
the
common
watercolor
folk?
one is pretty.
Let's talk about the watercolor one real quick. It is a filter from Photoshop from 2002 is what it is.
Where are you guys seeing this? I need to see this.
It's called the social medias.
Oh,
Which
I'm
you
not
have been
there
off for a
anymore.
I'll find
Yeah.
it for you. I'll find it for you.
Yeah, you don't get to be petty because you don't know what's going on. So
No.
Yeah. If this doesn't scream recession, if this doesn't scream, please, pass holders, come back to us and save us from the impending recession. I don't
That's
know
what I'm
what does.
saying.
oh, how about dining plans? I bet dining plans will do it.
Oh,
I bet
yeah.
dining plans will showcase a recession real nice. We got
That's
some
what
dining
scared
plan.
me, actually.
Yeah, let's talk about the there's 5 more big updates for Walt Disney World when it comes to this kind of stuff. Victoria, lay out these interesting sort of I mean, some of these changes are kind of just reworking the reservation system, adjusting post-COVID, feeling more comfortable, but also dining plans, y'all. It's back, so
All right,
get
so
prepared.
this was a long email when I got it. Let me tell you.
It's a lot.
And there's a lot of like weird wording. Like, so originally, the first thing is removing theme park reservation requirements for date-based tickets. Immediately, people thought theme park reservations were gone. This is not the case. So theme park reservations are no longer required for date-based tickets starting January 9th. So a date-based ticket is just a regular ticket, like a regular one-day ticket. Because so that's all it is. Anytime like you have a ticket where you're having to pick the park and you have to pick a date, that's what it is. You don't have to do theme park reservations for it anymore.
Well, that's
Good.
nice.
I mean,
It's
it
kind of
is.
insane to me that wasn't already there. Like, I feel like if
You'd
you're
be
buying
surprised
the
how
ticket
many
for a
people
certain
showed up.
date, it's kind of bonkers that you should have to go make a separate reservation for the ticket that you bought for a specific date.
It
Well, that's
happens
what I
so
said.
often.
That's what I said. But you know, anyway,
Ain't no one
I'm gonna
listening.
keep that to myself.
Ain't no one
So the
listening to your
next
opinions,
thing,
right?
no
Come
one
on.
listens.
Come on, Disney.
Like, but the next thing is good to go days for annual pass holders and cast members. So in 2024, they're going to have select days for annual pass holders and cast members to visit without needing a park reservation. And once they start it, it's going to happen on a regular basis. It's going to be
It's bonus
based on
days.
park.
It's bonus days.
It's bonus days. It's literally just rework bonus days.
I don't understand this because it just really feels like this feels like the flex passes. Do you remember those that we had
Yeah.
over at
Yeah.
Disneyland? That's literally what this is. Like, if I feel like if you had that, this is kind of like the same thing,
I mean, pretty much.
which is ridiculous because I have an Inspire key and I can go into the parks for 2 weeks. Look at me paying for nothing. Thank you, Disney.
Yeah.
But you bought it though.
I did.
Yeah.
Let me
So
take
who's
the L.
Who's the fool now? Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Consumerism
big
got me.
one is the dining plan is coming back. I can't tell you how many clients I had that ask me if this is coming back. So it's coming back, but there's only going to be 2 versions of it coming back. It's the quick service plan and just a regular dining plan. You can start putting that to your packages next week when 2024 bookings come out. This one was weird because we already knew this, but if you're staying at a Disney resort, you get early entry into the parks depending on the park and the day. And if you're staying at a deluxe or deluxe villa, you get extended evening hours. So they just confirmed that that's going to continue in 2024, and they're gonna simplify Disney Genie Plus. And based on what it sounds like, it just sounds like it's going to be a paid Fast Pass Plus to me. So the end.
Smart. Probably should have tried
I
that
like
the
how they
first time,
give us
Disney.
nothing, but they're trying to make it seem like they're giving us something.
Oh,
like,
always.
yes, bitch, give us nothing.
Give us
No.
nothing. Give us recycled bullshit. Like, this
Yeah.
is stuff that should have been here. Like, this is stuff that was here before the pandemic. Like, this isn't anything crazy.
I mean, better late than never, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not complain. They
We
might
all
take
went-
it away again.
Yeah, we all went through a global crisis. I think we all got a little crazy. We all did things we regret. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's okay.
True.
It's all
Very
right.
true.
Very
Speaking
true.
of things that aren't old and are going to look very new, Sarah, Tokyo Disney, what's going on? They're breaking some serious ground.
You know,
They're making
how
us
I
look
said
like bitches over here is what they're doing.
always.
I mean, they
Always,
don't
always,
have to
always,
do
always.
much though to make
Nope.
us look like
See,
bitches.
exactly, because
Nope.
earlier before we started this, Janine was saying, "Oh, like, what is Tokyo Disney doing?" And we're like, "It's just great. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. Tokyo Disney is just always that girl, never misses, is always doing what they're supposed to do." So
But you know what's
Tokyo-
crazy? It's because Disney doesn't really have a lot of control over it. It's
Yep.
Oriental Land Company. And
Shout
it's
out to the
crazy.
Oriental Land Company. Shout out to you guys actually running things. So Tokyo Disneyland officially they broke ground on their Space Mountain. It's a $400 million renovation that's set to be finished in 2027. They just had the ceremony and it's pretty exciting. If you guys have
It's
seen
a
the concept art,
4-year renovation.
Yeah.
girl, it's $400 million.
not a-
That's
Yeah.
a lot.
That's not a renovation. That's tearing it down and rebuilding it.
They
Basically.
kind of are. I mean,
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they're doing.
I want
yeah.
everyone to go look at the concept
The
art
concept
because
is
it looks
beautiful.
fantastic.
Yeah, I think I think my friend Luke is creative lead on this. He was the lead on Star Trek Experience way back in the day and
Cool.
in Vegas, but most recently he did a Pirates Shanghai, like was his big project. So
Oh wow.
he's a superstar
Mm.
there and super sweet guy. But I saw this rendering. I don't think he painted it, but I saw this rendering and I went, I think this is his aesthetic. So I think he's in charge
That's
of
awesome.
futuristic stuff in the Tokyo portfolio.
Well, it looks in a little bit this new kind of Tomorrowland look for Space Mountain in Tokyo reminds me a little bit of Shanghai's Tomorrowland as well.
Yes.
There's some
Yes.
this is what we want our Tomorrowlands to look like in the States, and we don't get it.
Right. And there's Tokyo's Tomorrowland is as dated as what Florida used to be before they did the 90s overlay with all this sort of steampunky-ish kind of accents. It's white and blue concrete. It's fairly stale. So this is pretty great. I mean, Tomorrowland's always a problem because tomorrow's always changing. So the fact that they're leaning into a more sort of sci-fi milieu is like they did in Shanghai is the right way to go. But the thing I can't get over is that it's probably not going to be even the same size. Like they're showing a building that is the same language as Space Mountain, but they're also not showing us anything behind it. And if you look at the park on Google Maps, behind Space Mountain is a sizable little plot of land and the Pinocchio parking lot, which they could easily turn into structure, which they've already done. They've built a ton of parking structures on lot to make up for expanding the parks. So I bet this is going to be something bigger. And the rumor is that it might be the Guardians of the Galaxy ride system, meaning a rotating launch with lots more special effects version of Space Mountain. And Nathan, when you and I rode Guardians, that's what we said. It's like, this is heir apparent. This is the modern heir apparent to Space Mountain.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it literally is like Space Mountain for 2023. Like it legitimately has star fields and you running around.
And if the history of the Japan parks is any indication, they look at the new ride systems coming out everywhere and go, we want one of those, but spend more money on it, right?
Yeah.
Like Tower of Terror.
Well, and they can't do it with Marvel because no one's interested in Guardians.
They don't like Marvel there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not just changing Space Mountain itself, they're also changing the Tomorrowland Plaza.
Yeah.
So they're not just like half-assing it and giving us, wow, pretty building, but the rest is still stale. Like they're really doing a
Are you
complete
telling me they're
overhaul.
not just painting walls?
They're not giving us the
different
landlord
colors?
special. No, they're
No.
giving
They're not
us
the landlord special.
No,
Man,
they're giving us
man,
more.
Nothing has been more Tomorrowland, Walt Disney World than the landlord
is.
special for the last.
I mean,
It so is.
This is telling in the press release. It said something about this entirely new Space Mountain attraction will maintain its original concept as an indoor roller coaster, but will have enhanced performance and immersive special effects that will give guests even more thrills. So that to me is like, oh, this isn't your father's Space Mountain. This is something else.
Yeah. And for it to take 4 years, they have to be doing something on the
It's
inside.
something, right.
$400 million just for the outside does not make sense. It's definitely something in the interior.
Yeah, it's not just new track, which is what we got in California, and that only took like 2 years. And not
Tell
that
your
much
friend to
money.
spill the tea secretly.
I tried.
Without breaking any
NDAs.
NDAs.
He couldn't tell me.
Oh.
What if I give him some Girl Scout cookies?
Girl, he's not tripping. He's in
gotta hook
Tokyo
up.
Disneyland.
I guarantee you they don't got Girl Scouts in Tokyo.
Yeah.
That's true.
But Tokyo does it every time. Always killing, always hitting, just doing the best.
They bring it. They bring it to the ball every time.
Every time.
They really do. You know, Bob Iger, he should be looking at someone from over there to be CEO. They need to bring someone from over there, like, to come here and figure things out and get this ship running.
But they don't want to
because it is
spend
a
money.
mess.
You're confused. You're confused
I'm
about the
sure
difference between.
I'm sure someone. You don't think someone would take that as an opportunity to come run Disney, like over on like the mainland or whatever?
Oh,
like I feel like they would totally do it.
If you give, I
Also
would like the
consider-
Oriental Land Company to buy all of Florida if I had my way. Like,
If you
it's all
talk to
land.
people in countries that don't have gun violence, the United States is like, I'm never going there.
Yeah, they don't want to.
Yeah.
Can't pay me. Like, I have family in Norway. They're like, we're not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nope.
I personally wouldn't go, but you
Yeah.
know.
Like that's
And that's a country that doesn't travel here anyway. They like they do a lot of travel inside their own country. They travel to Korea a lot. Maybe
Really?
they come to Disneyland. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
U.S.
happy.
travel is
Why come here?
U.S. travel is not a primary destination. Like I think the biggest international destination for Tokyo residents or Japanese people is Paris.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that they're fine with their own plot of land and keeping on their incredible track record. It's just it's a different culture, especially they make all their money in merch there. So the merch sales there,
And
we've talked about this before.
Not expensive.
It's amazing.
The per cap spending there is like 3 or 4 times what it is, even on vacation spending here in Florida. So it's like it's mad cash there.
They're
Yeah.
literally looking at us like, ew.
Yeah.
Stay over there.
Literally like
no, for real.
They're like,
Yeah.
ew.
No, but they're polite about it. They're like, no, oh no, thank you.
No, thank you. No, thank you, Annabelle.
No, thank you. No, thank
No
you.
thanks.
Annabelle.
No, thank
Keep it
you.
over there. Keep it
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
Don't come to us. But moving on from amazing Tokyo Disneyland, we come back to the crappy United States.
This is definitely not the patriotic
Where
show I was trying to
suing
make.
is
No, I'm
just,
kidding.
one of our favorite things to do.
Yeah.
So the former, oh my God, you would think that we would be done with Chapek, but he just seems to be coming back.
Like a bad
just-
penny.
He's just
but he's
there.
But no, he's not coming back. I mean, this is Sideshow
I mean,
Bob in the
this
rake.
is a
No, in the
group-
This is
conversation.
Sideshow Bob
This is
in
a
the
In the
rake.
group
conversation.
effort.
Every
Get
time that guy
away.
turns around, he hits a rake. Like this is
It's Sideshow Bob.
it's just all the information we get now is, well, JPEG is, the thing that he was interested in is closed, or this thing is closed,
kinda
or he's
sad.
being sued.
I
No.
told y'all I felt bad for him.
Yeah,
Like, I really
Technically,
do.
it's not just him being sued.
Yeah, it's not
Look,
just him, but
Daddy Snorbucks is fine. Don't worry about Daddy
Wait,
Snorbucks.
what did you call him?
Daddy
Daddy
Snorbucks?
Snorbucks.
Norbucks.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
You know
Thank
what my favorite thing is that we speculated about him is his he probably has a random collection I remember us talking about that he probably collects spoons or something.
Mhm.
Oh, right. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like maybe he can sell them now to fund this lawsuit. But anyway, back to the actual lawsuit. So the lawsuit alleges that Chapek and other executives did not properly disclose the state of Disney, specifically Disney Plus's projected numbers for subscribers and the company's overall health in the streaming industry. The Variety article goes on to say that while the company's stock has continued to take major hits over the past months, it is not an outlier in the entertainment industry, which has seen studios struggling to penetrate the streaming space. As we all know, streaming is a hellhole. It is literally some place that you throw a shit ton of money at and hope for the best. And Disney Plus has not really been doing so hot. And essentially, this lawsuit is just saying, like, you guys lied to us. Disney Plus sucks. That's the gist of it.
I mean, and to be fair, they got a good case because they did in fact omit a lot of stuff that they probably should have told their shareholders. So
Yeah, and Disney Plus does kind of suck. So
I mean, yeah,
The concept is there, I think Disney Plus could work. It just they really overshot it. Like it could have really just been one of those like
They
stayed
did
at
too
that
much.
$6.99 like streaming service that you open every once in a while. But they were just doing too much. They need to fund those $1 million Marvel shows that they keep coming out with every freaking week. So
yeah, we all love. Look, we're all.
Well, I mean, they
rewatching-
said they're gonna slow down on that now.
Yeah,
So I mean,
we're rewatching Hawkeye every day. Well, me and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Hawkeye.
We're just watching these
You mean
shows.
WandaVision?
You know what? Can I say something? I know everyone likes WandaVision, and I think it's the most creative and the most interesting of the batch. Except I did like Loki quite a bit.
But Loki, that last episode was a mess to me.
For
personally.
Loki.
No, for
Oh, for
WandaVision.
WandaVision?
Like when they started
Um,
giving us that Disney Channel movie fight scene, I was very confused.
Yeah. I think the thing about WandaVision is, I think it's got a better reputation than it deserves. But that's just me.
But those first episodes were great.
Well, yeah,
like
because
when-
they were like their own thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were. It was
They were great.
very creative.
Yeah. So he's getting sued. That's great. We love it.
Not that's great. Well, I mean,
Sure, people,
He deserves it.
sure.
I mean, the company as a whole is getting sued too.
Yeah. I just think it's funny.
It's
he's
okay. It's $1 billion
Um,
company.
I mean, they'll be fine, but like, I mean, all of them will be fine. They're just gonna settle. But
Right. Exactly. But let's talk more about how Disney Plus kind of stinks and what Disney's trying to do to fix that. Dave, there are several things that Disney is currently doing. Some that make a lot of sense, and then others that it's a new trend for companies in the streaming realm. What's going on?
The first big thing is that Hulu is going to be merged into Disney Plus, which Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN will all still be available as standalone subscriptions, but for bundle subscribers, Hulu will show up as a tab inside Disney Plus.
That's so weird.
It's weird, but
Should be the other way around.
this is about advertising. That's the only difference between Hulu and everything else is they can put a lot of ads on it, right? It's a freemium. So I'm not surprised they did this. I think this was probably in the plan all along because they've also been sniffing around buying it outright, right? Did they? I knew they were
I
thinking
think
of
they're
buying.
working on it.
They're working
Yeah,
on
I was gonna say,
still.
did they not? I don't know.
No, it's still they're the majority shareholder, I believe, but they're looking at
Hmm.
buying it out entirely.
Well, wait, I'm
Uh,
confused then because if they're gonna do that, then why are they raising the ad prices later this year on Disney Plus?
because they can,
Mm-hmm.
Why
Pretty
not?
fair.
For fun,
because they have
Fair.
$5 billion in debt to get out of, because the Wild West of streaming. Oh my God, we own the platform, we own all the channels. Let's make everything in the world. It didn't quite work out for them.
Yeah.
It hasn't worked out for
starting-
anyone yet.
How many?
No.
None for nobody, right? How many of us watch Turner and Hooch, the series? No one.
I don't even know what that
I don't even
is.
know what that was.
I
It's a-
recognize like
right.
3 things on that list.
There was a Tom Hanks movie where he was a buddy cop movie where his sidekick was a big slobbery dog called Turner and Hooch, and they said, let's make
Surprise
that into a
hit.
TV show.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, is that the one with
Why?
Josh Peck?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
He was in a movie?
No, he's
he
gonna
was
be
the
in a
series.
show.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's one of
let's
the
not,
other
let
things
us not
that-
forget that this series, of course, made it canon in the Turner and Hoochverse that Tom Hanks is dead.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah,
Wait,
which we all
not that
wanted.
it's funny that he's dead, but it's funny that there's a what do you call it?
The Turner and Hoochverse, the Hoochverse.
The Hoochverse, yes.
Yeah,
The
the
Hoochverse.
The Hoochieverse.
Hoochieverse.
Not the Hoochieverse.
Well,
I like the
mean,
Hoochieverse.
that the fact that they're merging is a kind of a small announcement compared to the other big news
Mhm.
on Disney Plus and Hulu, and that they are pulling dozens of original titles that have been there since day one programming, and a lot of
Mhm.
them are ones that I read and went, okay, no big deal. But there's certain things like
Like
I wish
Howard.
Earth. Like Howard was a big one. That like Little
That's
Mermaid
crazy.
is coming out now, and they're getting rid of the documentary about Howard Ashman. That's fantastic. Like what?
Yeah. Before
Yeah,
Pride
that's
Month.
that was
Before
a
Pride
choice.
Month.
Before Pride Month. Bad call. But like I wish Earth to Ned was better, but I'm not going to miss it. It was an interesting format, but it wasn't great. The World According to Jeff Goldblum was a one-note show that I never thought really was very good. Willow I loved, but I understand why it didn't hook people, and they're not going to do another one, so why bother? But
Yeah,
a lot
but
of this,
the Mysterious Benedict Society, I didn't watch it and find whatever. Didn't it
Yeah.
have like 3 seasons? Like
yeah, it
it was
did.
a
Yeah,
long...
I have a decent following, like
Mhm.
from what I see on Twitter.
Right,
Disney
and
Fairy Tale Weddings?
yeah,
I
Sorry,
think that has
that
something
one's
to
a shock.
do with. I think that has something to do with the unfortunate passing of one of the hosts.
oh, right,
Oh,
right.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, and then over on Hulu, you have non-Disney stuff like Dollface and Why the Last Man, which is a great comic book, but I didn't
I
love
really
the
like
show.
Yeah.
the show's awful, but the concept is good.
The concept's great, and the
Yeah.
comic it's based on is fantastic.
Mm.
Love
I'll
in the
check that out.
Oh, it's great. Love in the Time of Corona, Best in Snow, Best in Dough, which are just reality, competition shows.
Yeah.
Like
Man, I need to watch more TV. I only just
No,
watched
you don't.
Jersey Shore on Hulu.
All this is junk.
I mean, a lot of this, I'm not surprised. I am very surprised by things like Howard, which is just, come on, that's a legacy
Mhm.
thing. Just leave it on.
Yeah,
But-
absolutely.
But I can't help but feel that all these cancellations, all these removals, and all the platforms are doing this. They're removing it so they don't have to pay
Right.
Writers.
anything else. But it's also so they can license it elsewhere, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
half this stuff's going to show up on Freevee. Like Magic
right.
Camp is just a movie. Like it's not connected to Disney really. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
But do you
Throw
guys
that
think
out
that this is because of the writers' strike? Are they
Yes.
just like preemptively just
I
canceling?
believe it's part of it. Yeah.
I think it's part of
Okay.
it. I think it's part of it. It's the bigger issue is again $5 billion in debt. They need to get
Mhm.
out of that. And
Yeah.
and this is penance though. Like they weren't really paying a lot to keep them on there.
Yeah.
So it's a weird one to me. I don't know enough about the streaming industry. I know that people don't make shit in terms of residuals anyway. So why
They
bother
really
with this?
don't.
But I don't know. It smells like that the strike could be part of it, but a lot of it is just they need to show something to the board. They need to show something to shareholders that they're trying to slim down, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I think
and besides Howard, which I'm going to put off to the side, the rest of it is fodder. It really isn't. Like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
Willow has it's very specific, but it reminds me of Willow falls in the category of like the Dark Crystal show. It's like these weird, so niche that
Niche.
you're like,
yeah.
you know, it was a
Right. It's
failure
only
when
for
it
a
first
slim
came out.
audience.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
are you so shocked that it's not that big of a shock?
I didn't even know about any of these shows that are on this list. Like,
Right. Well, they
Literally
moved
just
them
like
day
Fairy
one.
Tale Weddings, Imagineering Story, Howard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, the Imagineering Story is gone too?
No, it's
I
staying.
believe. Oh, it's staying. I thought
It's
I saw it
staying.
was
Okay.
leaving.
Nope.
I was gonna say
no. People
that's a
were
bit
worried.
much. Yeah. Okay. But it feels like all these mergers and like the whole streaming industry, it's really just giving Dish Network right now, or Spectrum TV. Like
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
Not
that's where we're
Spectrum TV.
like I don't know if you guys had Dish Network, but we had that over here in Southern California. But like it's starting to really just feel like cable TV with everything just merging. Like and the
Mhm.
prices are crazy.
Yeah,
So
we're going
paying
back
cable.
to the same model. We're
Yeah.
going back to the
Yeah.
same bundle
really
model as
are.
cable. It really sucks.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm over it.
But again, that's because each of the studios went, oh, if we control the pipeline, we control everything, we can make our own money, screw those cable networks, and now they're eating crow.
Right.
So it's just cyclical. We're going
Yeah.
back to, like, I have, for the first time in a long time, I thought, am I just going to go back to cable? I haven't had cable for 5 years, but
Yeah.
Go
I-
back.
What's even on cable?
Go
Yeah,
go
that's
back
my
to
thought.
cable. just get a hotel room for one night, watch cable for 5 minutes, and you will be reminded why you don't own cable.
Why I don't have it. Yeah, you're probably
Yeah.
right. You're
But I
probably
wonder what
guess
the
what?
next
Guess
stage
what?
is going to be.
Yeah, Rachel Maddow and some of that programming. It's just podcast the next day anyway. So the new stuff is already available in a different area.
Fair.
You don't. There's no need.
There's no point.
There's no need. Yeah, we'll see.
But
What
what's
happens.
next for streaming? Like, I feel like that's the question. Like, what?
I mean,
What's
the next
after
thing is they're
this?
going to keep bouncing the Harry Potter franchise to different
Oh,
fucking streaming
no.
services.
Well, don't worry. You're going to be able to tell an AI exactly what you want to watch, and it's going to create it for you in a second. That's the
Oh God.
Oh,
that's
Lord.
the hope. How fun. Let's talk about other scary things. The second Haunted Mansion trailer dropped, and
Yay.
I think we can all agree.
Yes!
Is this going to be a good movie? Is this actually
I
a good movie?
think
I
look,
didn't watch
It's looking
this.
good.
Nathan,
it
listen
looks
to me.
it looks good. You
Listen
need to
to
watch
me.
it,
But he
Janine.
told me
I
that
actually
this happened.
like
It has
there's-
no choice but to be good.
What
Yeah,
can be
I mean-
worse?
First of all, Justin Simeon is amazing. I loved
Yes.
Dear White People. I loved Bad Hair. Like he's an amazing director who can balance. Bad Hair proves he can balance scares and laughs,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and really well. And that trailer made me go, "Oh, we're actually going to get some scares out of this." Like I think it is PG-13 too.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it is. Like, I looked
Yeah.
through that whole trailer a good
And-
5 times, and the
and-
amount of lore that he
Mhm.
put
Oh.
in that bitch I think
Danny!
Candleman is in it.
The Candleman's in it. The Tiffany
Captain.
Haddish being dragged around in the chair that looks like a dune buggy
Yeah.
was great. The Hatbox Ghost looks
No,
amazing.
this looks so
Looks
good.
Amazing.
Crazy.
All is forgiven that it's voiced by Jared Leto. I don't care because they
Oh.
filter his voice so much it's
I
not
forgot
him.
about him.
Yeah,
As long
whatever.
as we don't
Even-
see his face,
But
I
they're
don't
but
care.
they've given him a name. Like if you
This
look at the
looks
cast, if you
so
look at the cast listing
good.
on IMDb, he's called Alistair Crump.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
are
Meaning-
you
right?
Also, I
serious?
think we're getting Madame Leota's backstory.
Right,
Yeah.
Madame Leota is Jamie Lee Curtis. But the cast is incredible. Keith Stanfield, Tiffany Haddish, Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, Rosario Dawson, Winona Ryder. Evidently, there are cameos from people like Dan
Oh my God,
Levy
Hassan
and
Minaj?
Hassan Minaj. Yes, so
Yep, he's in it.
Do we know the
Wow.
runtime? How long is this
not-
movie?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet, no.
Probably
It has to be
2.
long. I want 2.5 hours.
No, I
It
don't
better
want
be
2.5
that long.
hours. I want to.
No?
Oh my God, I just
If I could get
realized
it-
that
all the
comes out
lore?
after Barbie.
Yeah.
Wow, we're
If I
getting
could
fed.
get a tight 90, I would. Any
think it's
movie
gonna
that
be
could
a-
give me
No,
a
this
tight
looks
90. would-
amazing.
Doesn't it look great? I was
am
very surprised.
So hyped. I just saw his son.
Yeah. Oh, the he's in the end scene. The sketch artist.
It's fine.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
It's
my
good
God,
stuff.
that scene is so funny. Like
It was
yeah.
so good.
And I love that they're giving it some Bayou, Louisiana, New Orleans flavor,
Mhm.
you know, in terms of the spirits of it. And yeah, I you know, as a diehard Haunted Mansion fan, and not a huge fan of the Eddie Murphy film. I don't know anyone that is.
No.
But frankly, I would have seen any Haunted Mansion movie at this point just because I like the Haunted Mansion. I'm sort of the same way about Tron. But this made me go, wait a minute, maybe other people will like this. That was my reaction to it.
Mhm. Yeah.
It looks
I'm
amazing.
determined that this will be good because I love it too much.
Yeah.
Need
We
us
were
all
definitely
need,
worried.
Need us all remind ourselves though. I just want to just for a second. I want to be realistic here. All right. I was saying the same thing about Jungle Cruise. And who,
I hate Jungle Cruise.
I
I
like
like
Jungle
that
Cruise.
movie.
we
I
had
didn't
fun
hate it.
watching that.
I'm just saying from a cultural connect, like
Oh, it
from a
didn't
light,
connect.
it didn't do anything. They keep talking about a sequel, but like, you know,
Yeah.
there's these big, oh, are they gonna do the Haunted Mansion now that the movie's big? It's like, we'll see if it connects. We'll see if
My
it
big
even
thing-
remembers
Well, I
itself.
mean, Pirates did well.
My big thing
One,
is
yeah,
there's
well
no
done.
big international stars in it. That's the part that concerns me. I don't know
Mhm.
how it's going to do overseas or if they even care because it's not a huge budget. This was only like the internet says it's probably about 150 million, which is nothing.
That's nothing.
So
Wait, Danny DeVito isn't considered international?
not big.
It's unfortunate to say, but like I don't think he's as big outside of the US. Like
So
he's
the
in
whole
a lot of
world
like
hasn't
little
seen
movies.
Matilda?
Yeah.
I no. No.
No, I'm
I would
afraid
consider
not.
Matilda that's a crime. But I think even though it doesn't have the international appeal, I think a lot of the people that are in it are still very exciting.
Yeah.
Because Lakeith Stanfield, like he's just showing how versatile he is by being in a Disney movie. I think that's
He's
awesome.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's amazing in Atlanta. We loved him in Get Out,
So
of
good.
course, and
Mhm.
Judas and the Black Messiah. It was incredible. Like he's
So good.
awesome. I love him as the lead. I'm excited to see him do something more comedic, frankly.
Mhm.
And that one scene was really funny where he was like, "It's $2,000." He's like, "Give me the address." Like it was like,
Yeah.
you know, like it was good.
Right. And Tiffany Haddish is going to bring the slapstick. We know what
Yeah.
she's going to bring. She's hilarious.
Mhm.
Owen Wilson, I'm interested what his role is.
Very intrigued by Owen Wilson.
Rosario
I'm
Dawson
very-
is. I have a huge crush on
Beautiful.
Rosario
Yes.
Dawson. Like
Mhm.
I just this whole cast makes me go, I'm
Yeah, let's
more
do it.
into this
Even
than
the
I expected
kid,
to be.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
the
even
kid
the
looks
kid was
fun.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, he does that.
Is this
Doesn't he say like
going-
what at one point? And it's just
Yeah.
he does it really well. It's just like
Yeah.
really funny.
Is
Yeah.
this going straight to Disney Plus or
No,
is it going
no,
to
it's in
theaters?
theaters.
Oh, they're
Theaters.
putting this in theaters.
They need a summer
believe in it.
movie. They don't. I mean, beyond. I'm trying to think what else is coming out for them. Pixar Elemental
but
is
they're
the
not
other-
promoting Elemental at all.
And Little Mermaid, but that's not really summer. That's early summer.
Yeah,
that's
and
early
that's
Next
just gonna,
week.
That's just going to be a nostalgia banger. It's going to make tons of money no matter what.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we will talk about that next time. I'm sure people will see it for sure.
My body is ready for that one. I am.
I
so
I already
have-
have
ready.
I got my
I
I have
tickets.
3 tickets.
Yeah, I
have
do
3
too.
tickets lined up.
I cannot wait to hear Halle Berry sing all of those songs. She's so great. Like
So I'm gonna let y'all
Wait.
know the soundtrack's already out in New Zealand.
Is it?
So
Ooh,
yep,
I
it's
don't wanna
already out in
spoil
New
it.
Zealand.
Oh, I
But
want to
hold
see
on.
it.
The
I don't give a
best
fuck.
part.
I'll listen to it.
Wait, Victoria, did you see? Did you see who she broke up with? Allegedly. The world is healing. The earth is flourishing.
The
We
earth
might
is healing.
The earth is healing.
Who was she
She-
dating?
Ugh, some like they said
No
on Twitter,
one.
an E-list
Literally.
rapper. Literally nobody. A nobody.
Garbage.
No-
He's garbage. She deserves better.
He's so trash. He literally tweeted out, "I haven't seen the original Little Mermaid. Should I watch it like before the premiere?" Like, how dare you try to take that away from her?
There were 2 social media clips from the premiere that I thought were really great. One was when she met Jodie Benson,
Mhm.
Yes.
who was the original
Yes.
singing
Cried.
voice and voice for her. And it was this, we didn't hear what they were saying, but when you look at their body language and their faces and their adoration for each other, it was just one of those moments where I'm like, oh, this is such a good baton passing
Mhm.
for that
It really
role.
is.
And then the other, there's tons of clips of her on the red carpet meeting all these little black girls in the audience and getting autographs and like, it
And
just made
seeing
me
all
so
the-
happy.
Yes, and seeing all the different people who were invited to the red carpet, bringing their daughters, their black daughters, to see
Yeah,
this movie,
yeah.
like,
Beautiful.
yes,
Did you
it
guys
was,
see
it was
like
amazing.
Jodie was taking a picture with I think like her daughters, and then like a little black girl dressed as Ariel wandered out. They were like,
Oh.
"Come over here and take a picture with
Oh,
us," and it
mhm.
was so sweet. And the mom was freaking out,
And
and I cried.
Can we
And
talk
I-
also
Oh.
about the very heavy subtext of Ariel as a character being a woman of color, singing about all of this wanting to be part of your world? Like, this is a big deal. This is way
Insane.
beyond just a princess looking for a prince. This is insane how they've woven this into a larger cultural conversation. And I think it's gonna be the thing that people pick at more than anything. But I think it's gonna be beautiful to watch as a story.
I'm really interested to see how they kind of, because I know that they want to essentially do this colorblind casting, but I really, really hope that they like point at those like certain things. Like, I want them to not ignore the fact that she's black.
Yes.
Like, I don't want that to be ignored. I want it to be addressed in the movie.
Yeah.
I want there to, even if it's like you said, little subtext, I want us to be able to see that and pick it up and be like, I get that. Like, I
Yep.
understand that.
Yep. I
So
think so
hopefully
too.
we see that.
Well,
I mean,
think
based
it
on
will
the
be.
novelization, it seems like that'll be the case.
the what?
Wait.
The what? Excuse me.
The novelization, the
Of
novel.
the movie?
Yes.
They got Hans Christian Andersen back. They got him.
No.
It
but-
sounds dumb, but like when you actually read it, you can see the subtle changes they made to the story that actually like makes it better. That's why I got the
Really?
book.
They made it a YA novel for today's audience then,
Oh,
basically,
okay.
based on the movie.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm very pleased when, at the very least, capitalist nostalgia cash grabs can at least bring representation. I think that's important too. So we'll
Yes.
see. I
A
think
win
I'll
is
end
a
up
win.
seeing it.
A win is a win. You're right. That's what
Yeah,
it
win
is.
is a win. We'll take it. So anyway.
Wait, are we gonna talk about Guardians? Did y'all see it?
Oh, we probably should. I don't want to
I,
talk too much.
Oh,
This is a
I
long episode, but
saw it.
I did.
I mean,
Janine and I saw it together as our final Florida trip.
Oh,
oh, love that
Yeah.
for you
was
guys.
very on brand for
it really
like the
was.
yeah.
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 I mean,
Friendship, love.
they put the theme of eugenics in there real heavy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I, it's falling into a very small category of movies where I can go, I appreciate what this is. I understand why it's really good. I'm probably never going to watch this thing again. Like, it's
Same.
too much. I think that it does it very well, but the first two, look, I try to remind myself of two things. One, the first movie begins with his mom dying of cancer on screen, so it's not like Guardians is not
It's not like it's like a plot twist.
It doesn't shy
that's
away.
heavy.
right. It's not like they're not game to go in these directions. I'm not suggesting that, but at the same time, you could watch them as kind of fun Sunday afternoon movies, and it's like a thing you could. I can't watch this one as a Sunday afternoon movie.
It was
There's no
pretty
way.
heavy.
I
Yeah.
mean, to be fair, that is comic accurate in a way. So I will give it
Yeah.
that. But it's heavy.
It's heavy.
Real heavy.
It's heavy. I'm glad it's Rocket's story, to be
Sure.
honest. That moment, no spoilers, but that moment when she says, "But not now." Like I haven't cried that hard in a movie in a long time.
Yeah.
And it's because you're an animal lover and you know what his backstory is, and you know
Yeah.
how painful his identity is to him. You
Yeah.
know, I get why people don't like it. Or at least are like your opinion, Nathan. Like, I never watch it again. I have a friend who's very sensitive to animal abuse who hated it. And I absolutely 100% understand why. I think the story they tell is still great in spite of that.
Oh, absolutely.
But I also love that it's not only his story. I love that it's Mantis's story. I love that Mantis sort of saves the day, and the fact that she gets to go off as the queen of these two toothy dragons, the big sloppy roly boys. Like, that made me so happy seeing them go off, and I'm like, I want to watch that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. She finally found her voice, and
She did.
Yeah, she really did. I saw the movie last night, and it was very, very heavy. Like, there were a lot of scenes that were hard to watch for sure. As being like an animal lover, it was there was like that the scene with the turtle, and like when he does his thing, like it was rough. Like, I got scared. Like there were some parts where it's rough. But overall, I loved the movie. I loved the themes of the movie. I like the whole thing about chosen family and like friendship, and like the way that they kind of went so far to save Rocket. Like, Rocket was always my favorite out of all the Guardians. So just seeing his backstory, like, I was in there and I saw it by myself. I was crying.
And a truly just truly despicable villain, like a really solid,
like a really good
that you
villain.
can't see.
Was a really satisfying villain. For me.
It was.
But that movie,
like
his reveal and stuff, like, that movie said, "Oh, we want that Temple of Doom like rating. We want. We're gonna remind you that what a PG-13 movie can do, because parents have been like, oh yeah, let's go take him to the new Spider-Man.
How did they get the Happy Meal over the Little Mermaid?
I know
That doesn't make any sense.
No,
to me.
zero. Like,
there's no way in
Racism.
hell
Just kidding,
I am letting my 10-year-old watch that.
Bro, I had to warn a friend of mine because she was like, "We're gonna go see it." I was like, "Maybe don't take your 10-year-old to go see this."
No. That 13 at the end of the rating means something, right?
boy.
Like,
It means something this time. I promise you, it means something. I mean, overall, though, I feel like it was a good way to round out it was a satisfying trilogy of movies.
It was.
It's excellent.
I'm just
Everyone
not
got
seeing
their
that third
ending.
one for a while.
No.
Yeah.
But the villain was so good, and it was so different for Marvel, because typically you can understand their motivations. This one is just an asshole.
No, he's
just a
awful.
piece of shit. Like, like nothing good about him, and I'm glad that they went that route.
And I don't think this is a spoiler. Like, his reason for despising Rocket is so internalized for him, and so, like, it's not a grand plan. It's
no.
It's
revenge.
personal.
It's how
It's
dare
personal.
how dare you be smarter than me, which is a
Yeah.
really small, much more personal, much more interesting thing.
Yeah.
I think that
I-
my only problem with the movie in general is from a plot standpoint and a structure standpoint. I know why you need to have Rocket kind of in a coma for the majority of the movie, and
Yeah.
you kind of get Rocket via flashback for the majority.
Yeah.
It's one of
He
those
was
things
so
where
cute though.
it's one of those things where I feel like you could have made the story work where he has a problem and then they're going to fix it and they bring him back, but he's super weak, but he can
Yeah.
be kind of with the group and he can still be doing his kind of remembering stuff
Yeah.
when he's by
But this
himself.
made the stakes so high. I feel like
Yeah.
with him being
Well,
out too,
it
like
is a-
because there were times where you're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I don't know if he's gonna
No,
make it.
it is
Right.
a movie that legitimately, I mean, not really Groot because Groot's already died once, but there is a moment where they cut off Groot's head and you're like,
Yeah.
well, okay. But like every
That was
single
kind of weird.
every single
Yeah,
Guardian
that was weird.
has a moment where you're
I
like,
liked
I
it.
don't know if they're gonna make it out of this
Yeah.
one. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, every single one of them, and even one where I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna
The
do
funny thing
that,
is
and then they
the
didn't.
animal visuals, like you mentioned, the turtle scene and all that. I kind of like, I'm a huge animal lover too, but I kind of went past it only because you go, it's a comic book. These are aliens.
Well, it
they're
gets
not,
all
it's not
morphy and
real.
weird.
It's
Yeah,
all morphy and weird and not and you
Not
don't know
like yeah.
no, and you don't really know the characters. The part that hit me was when they gave themselves names.
yeah.
I
No.
know.
Yeah.
Wait, no, don't make me love them because of their, stop it. I know
No,
where
it's
this
all
is
about
headed.
it's all about Sky. Sky, it killed me. That's the whole scene. I was
That
Yeah,
part,
that's-
yeah. It
'Cause-
was a shock. Like it was a real like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. But you
and
can
I'm
kind
all-
of see it.
Yeah,
but,
and I don't want to spoil
yeah.
it, but there's a shot in the trailer, and I was like, okay, this is probably later on in the movie because they seem pretty happy, and then it happens in the sad part of the movie, and I'm like, oh no, like these fools
Yeah.
ain't gonna make it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean,
like,
it
yeah.
just fucked
Yeah.
me up because it's like I knew what was gonna happen going into this,
Mhm.
and it
Yeah.
still fucked me up.
Well,
I was
Janine
like,
and
I
I-
was prepared to be fucked up, and I was
Right.
still like, gosh.
Same.
We had sort of a pallor at Disney Springs after the film where we were just sort of like, okay, well, let's go shopping, and we're just kind of like, ooh, for like an hour because it's
I
just
had to go to bed. Like
Yeah,
I
it
really
was
had to
rough.
take myself out for the night because it was a lot. But I hope Bradley Cooper got his check. It was well deserved. Like it was just
Yes.
it was
Yeah.
such a good performance from everybody involved. And Chris Pratt is there, but we can move on from that.
he did a good job.
He did a good job.
pratted-
He will always do a good job. It's just
Yeah.
the politics are ooh.
Well,
I
yeah,
still can't believe Vin Diesel gets paid that much to say I am Groot.
yeah.
think he says it every
I am
time.
Groot.
He says it every time.
He says a lot.
He gives,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think,
Well,
I'm gonna Google it because I Googled it earlier and I was like, ain't no way he makes this much. And all he
He-
says, I am Groot, we are Groot, and love you.
But he does it so well.
Yeah. And he has intention behind each one. From what I remember, he writes out the dialogue for what he's saying in that moment. So
You're
He makes
joking.
54
No, he does.
million every time.
The joke of everyone knowing exactly what he's saying really worked this time.
it's great.
Yeah.
It was great, and yeah, sorry, he writes out that the meaning if it were an actual sentence, and practices that way, and then puts I am Groot
That's so
over
cute.
it, so that the
Mhm.
emotions behind it. Yeah, it's pretty great. I think it's
It's
It's not.
it's
It's really
54
not
million
silly
great.
at all. Like
No,
it works.
Yeah.
it's a good gimmick. Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
gimmick.
Vin Diesel's an artist, y'all.
He
Are
Are
really
y'all
is.
seeing Fast 10?
I am.
I
I
am.
feel like I've
Got my
already
tickets
made
for
it
that.
this far. I might as well just
Yeah.
watch.
I need
You
to
know
Yeah.
what? I'm a sucker for action movies. I know
Yeah.
they're not the best, but like I will always be sad.
We'll count
Like-
we'll count Fast 10 talk now as Universal Studios talk. But I will remind us once again that we are literally recording still. So let's go to the mailbag.
So mail someone a letter, even just a card will do. You know it's nice when the postman has a letter in a sack for you.
All right, we have a letter from the mailbag. We have a couple, so we'll get to a couple other ones next one as well. But tonight we're gonna look at Joser has written in, and this is in reference to our let's see here, our April 24th episode. He says, "Howdy, ratties!" At about the 1 hour 12-minute mark, Janina expressed being starstruck by Dave. Girl, I am right there with you. RE Beware Our Guest in this episode about Epcot/Harmonious viewings. Oh yes, we had a couple of those recently. Whether it was the finger one or I can't remember exactly which one, but we've talked about fights at Harmonious quite a bit.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s at Laserphonic Fantasy, being the nighttime show, Joser says, Mom and I were standing at a railing along the lagoon for a long while before the show starts. We didn't notice all the kids and families that sat down around and behind us. Show starts, and way back in the audience, someone way back in the audience yells at my mom and I to sit down. Due to all the people that were around, we weren't able to. After the show, during the chaos of crowd dispersing, the man finds teenaged me and threatens to beat me up for not sitting down. My retired Navy father stepped in and backed him down. So yeah, Karen's and Chad's from the 1980s. So
What?
no. Yeah.
Shout out
That's-
to the Navy father.
Yeah, shout out to the
Yeah.
Navy father. And yeah, we all agree that we should just have Tokyo standards. Everyone sits down at parades and at fireworks, but if they
Indeed.
can.
But
So,
we're American.
but we're
and we're rude.
American. Yes. So thank you, Joseph, for writing in. We
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Joser.
Yeah. And you know what? Astuder, are you there? All right, Astuder is here. I unpacked him first because he was having trouble
Aw.
breathing out of his little motors in that
Oh my.
box. So I took him out, and yeah, now we're gonna have our Astuder computer poem of the week.
That's why I'm a router for me computer. Everybody needs a friend.
All right, so the Astuder computer. What do you have? Let's see here. Give me a poem about this week's news, Astuder. Ooh, this is good. Okay. Oh, and he references in this some of the sources, some of the news sources that we use to get some of this information. So this will be an interesting poem. In the realm of stars and a tale unfolds. Let me try that again. I'm sorry, Astuder. Let me do that better. In the realm of stars, a tale unfolds where dreams and wonders once untold, but now, alas, a sorrowful fate upon the Galactic Starcruiser does await. Breaking news in this cosmic dance, a closure permanent like a broken trance. The Star Wars galaxy, once alive and bright, now bids farewell, vanishing from sight. Oh, Blog Mickey, bearer of the tale, you bring the news like a solemn wail. The journey's in the final chapter, no more adventures for the eager captor. But beyond the stars, another scene unfurls in the realm of men where power swirls. The New York Times paints a vivid stroke of Disney and DeSantis, a curious cloak. I don't really know how it's a curious cloak, Astuder, but we'll work on it. A tale of businesses and politics entwined where magic meets the world, a curious bind. Ron DeSantis, Florida's governor bold, collides with Disney's dreams as stories are told. And amidst this tumultuous corporate affair, Variety whispers of a lawsuit's glare. Bob Chapek, Disney's CFO, well, I don't think he's anymore there, Suitor, but it's okay, stands accused by a shareholder's hand, justice sought infused. Okay, well, you're gonna have to be
They're
nice
trying,
to
it's
Suitor.
trying.
He's tired too. He's still a little dusty from the car ride. In the courtroom's solemn theater of strife, powerful forces clash, the pulse of life. Yet within these links a story profound of ambition, betrayal, and dreams abound. For in every ending a new beginning lies, where stars are reborn and hope shall rise. The Starcruiser saga may have met its end, but the force of imagination will always transcend. Through trials and challenges, the magic persists in the hearts of those who refuse to desist. So let us dream as the stars fade away, for in our dreams a new Star Wars awaits someday. See, still,
That was nice.
tired
Yeah,
new
the ending's
Marylander Studer, still doing
Stuck
it
the
good.
landing. Stuck the landing there, Studer.
Let's go see a Star War.
As he likes to do. So thank you, Studer. I should say they. Studer's agender. So, as we kind of wrap up here, Victoria, how's your marathon going? You had not had a chance to promote it yourself. Give us a little update.
Well, as of right now, we only have to fundraise 1,300 more. So yay, snaps for that. And I'm doing a giveaway right now. It's a cookbook right now, but once we hit 500, then I'm gonna add a lounge fly to it.
Cool.
Wow.
Where can people sign up to help you with your marathon?
Well, the links to the Disneyland Marathon and the Wine and Dine Marathon are both in my bio link. So you can pick whatever one you favor and donate there. Any amount counts. And if you can't donate, you can share.
Cool. Wonderful.
Not you rhyming like a student computer.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Look at those lines. Well, this has been an interesting, sort of quirky episode to say the least. Lots of passion and sleepiness and all sorts of business. But I am so happy I was able to make it to this episode because it's always so fun to talk to my rats. And of course, Rat Castle is produced by yours truly, Nathan Hartman. And please, subscribe, tell your friends. We are entering. This is our second year of doing this, and let me unpack some boxes and stuff. But I think we're gonna try to update, do some stuff, maybe get some more. I'd love to get some more guests on. We'll work it out. We're gonna keep pushing this thing along because I think whether you guys like it or not that are listening, we like doing it. So we're just gonna keep doing it. And tell your friends. And as Joser has showcased here, you can leave questions, buy merch, and more at bit.ly/ratcastle. Now, grab your belongings and exit to the left.
Will you stop this foolishness?
What foolishness would you like to see?
Will you get out of here?